Now in new at 6, an update on the Smelterville shooting and who's in custody. Plus, the Bratfest is back for its second year. Our Mason Chafee is working on the details, and McCann America is in the Weather Command Center.
John, we have a little bit of everything in our forecast. I'll explain coming up.
Channel 3 News at 6 begins right now.
Broadcasting from the Channel 3 studio in downtown Wallace, this is Channel 3 News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm John Webb. The Shoshone County Sheriff's Office recently sent out a press release with an update on the shooting in Smelterville. Shoshone County deputies John Richter and Jake Delaney responded to the scene on October 29th at approximately 12:19 a.m. There were reports of some suspicious activity in the area of F and Washington Street. Once deputies arrived, they discovered a 38-year-old male inside of a motorhome owned by Nickerson's Towing. As Richter and Delaney detained the suspect, another man exited a nearby van and began firing gunshots in the direction of the deputies. Deputies returned fire and shot 80-year-old Richard Willoughby Jr. Thankfully, the deputies involved were not injured. Willoughby Jr. was transported to the Kootenai Medical Center to receive treatment on 3 different wounds. The next morning, he was reported to be in stable condition. The detained male was cited and released on scene for unlawful entry. Both deputies Richter and Delaney are now on administrative leave following the department's policy. A Washington man is now in jail after a high-speed pursuit came to an abrupt end. Just after 9 p.m. on the 26th, the Osborne Police Department responded to the 76 gas station for a service call. In a press release, the Shoshone County Sheriff's Office did not clarify what exactly that call was for. As the deputy arrived, the vehicle left the scene at a high rate of speed. The officer attempted to stop the vehicle, but the driver continued traveling towards the freeway. The man entered the eastbound lane on I-90 near milepost 58. During that time, a deputy set up a spike strip at milepost 62. They were successfully deployed, and the vehicle later came to a stop near milepost 65. Wilbur Presley Allen was taken into custody for local charges and an escape warrant out of Washington. A Silver Valley resident and a veteran who served 30 years in the Army is continuing her public service, but in a different form.
And as I was getting out, I wanted something interesting and complicated to do, to give back to the community.
When Linda Aldridge came back, she attended American Legion meetings regularly. At one meeting, a representative from Sheba, Idaho's Health Insurance Assistant Program, was talking about the ins and outs of Medicare. Aldridge was struck at how knowledgeable the rep was about the confusing program, and she became good friends with her.
She convinced me I wanted to do this, and it definitely is challenging. And I love seeing the smiles on faces and the lights come on in their eyes when I can show people, how to make good decisions on their Medicare, and where they can find the resources so that no one can take advantage of them.
The classes are free to attend. Just show up to one of their meetings listed on your screen and bring your Medicare book. The Wallace Chamber of Commerce puts on many events throughout the year, but there's one event that screams Wallace: Dudes and Dregs. Our Mason Chafee looks into the Wallace Bratfest.
Thanks, John. The second annual Bratfest in Wallace was last Saturday, where you could come, eat, drink, and buy items in the auction. This event will be the Wallace Chamber's annual fundraiser to help keep their business going. I interviewed Dave Copeland, the coordinator of the event, and he gave us all the details.
Bratfest, well, that's our fundraiser. That's how we keep the doors open here. So specifically about the event, we will be at the Elks Club at 5:30 this Saturday. We'll have a lot of auctions for sale, including a 2008 Mercury Sable Premier from Dave Smith Motors, which has a Blue Book value of $6,000.
The bartenders at the event are dressed as Bavarian barmaids. Bratfest is not recommended for younger audiences. Signing off from the Channel 3 studio, I'm Mason Chafee.
Thanks for that, Mason. Do you own a stove that was manufactured before 1998? Well, you might be eligible for a wood stove changeout through the DEQ at no cost to you. However, there are a few requirements. You must live in towns between Cataldo and Big Creek, and you must work with a DEQ and a local vendor to replace the stove with an EPA-certified wood, gas, or pellet stove. During the 2018-19 application period, the DEQ replaced 85 wood stoves and has funding for 100 more replacements. The deadline to apply is January 30th of 2019, and all you need to do is go to the DEQ website for all of the details. Well, it's never too early for Christmas. At least that's what the Silver Valley Chamber of Commerce says. Our new reporter, Lindsay Foster, has her story on the Silver Valley Christmas Festival.
Thanks, John. With Christmas right around the corner, Mallory Phillips, the new director of the Silver Valley Chamber of Commerce, has been hard at work planning the Silver Valley Lighting Festival. To start off, there will be a craft fair at Papa's Barn, followed by the parade, and finally, pictures with Santa along with a ski movie.
In the parade, you line up on Main Street in Uptown Kellogg around 4 o'clock. The parade will start at 5, and it'll go down Main Street and then through McKinley, past all the little stores, and then it'll go down Hill Street and it'll end at Silver Mountain.
Phillips says even though it is her first year at the Chamber, she's expecting a pretty good turnout.
We've been really encouraging people to, schools and businesses, to do parade floats and be more competitive.
Reporting in the Channel 3 studio, I am Lindsay Foster.
Lindsay, thanks for that. The U.S. Forest Service will be closing the St. Joe Ranger District office near Avery. It'll be closed for the winter from November 17th to March 18th. The St. Mary's office will remain open to the public Monday through Friday. Tonight, 3 individuals are very thankful after receiving minor injuries in a crash that could have turned out fatal. Joey Wentland and 2 others were exiting I-90 on exit 51 near Dave Smith's when his brakes failed. As a result, Wentland attempted to pull the emergency brake, and he even tried putting the vehicle in park. After failing to slow the vehicle down, Wentland swerved to the left, which made the SUV roll several times. Wentland struck 3 other vehicles, thankfully without injuring anyone else. Shoshone County Fire Chief Mark Ament says that the 3 occupants refused to be transported to the hospital. Weather Commander McKenna Merrick has details on your 7-day forecast. McKenna?
Hello, I'm McKenna Merrick reporting in your Channel 3 Weather Command Center. Looking at the Doppler radar, you see no scattered precipitation. In the past 24 hours in the Montana region, you have seen 3 inches of snowfall. Looking at the 7-day forecast, our 7-day forecast is showing some snow for Friday and Saturday, and with our Veterans Day Sunday, we are seeing little fog before 9 a.m. and sunny for the rest of the day. And on Thursday, we are seeing a high chance of rain. Back to you, John.
McKenna, thank you. In state news tonight, flyers with the slogan, "It's okay to be white," were posted on the University of Idaho campus and around Moscow last week as part of a provocation campaign by white nationalist groups. The Moscow Pullman Daily News reports the flyers were an apparent repeat of a year-old campaign stemming from online message boards intending to create strong reactions. Washington State University Communications Director Phil Wheeler says the Pullman campus was the site of the same campaign last year. He said, quote, "They're interested in being provocative, trying to upset people, and trying to intimidate people." University President Chuck Staben says he is disappointed to see such flyers on campus, but personnel would not remove the ones posted on authorized surfaces, noting the university supports free speech. An online petition is collecting thousands of signatures from people who support staff members of an Idaho school district who wore outfits depicting Mexican people and a border wall. The Idaho Statesman reports that by Sunday afternoon, nearly 3,000 people had signed the petition on change.org to reinstate 14 Middleton School District staff members who were placed on paid administrative leave. Parent Carmen Ives tells KBOI-TV they started the petition to save their teachers, staff, and principal. Photos were posted to the district's Facebook page Thursday night and later removed, but screenshots captured the images that went viral. The border wall was emblazoned with "Make America Great Again." Middleton is about 34 miles west of Boise. Finally tonight, the good news. An Alabama 5th grader has never been happier to see his school's mascot, who turned out to be his deployed mom in disguise. Cale Lancey, a student at Chaffee Elementary School in Huntsville, couldn't believe his eyes when he saw his school's mascot, an eagle, revealing itself as his mom. Sergeant Desiree Lancey has been deployed to Kuwait for the past year and hasn't seen her son since last Christmas. Ahead of the surprise, her son Cale and the rest of the class were gathered in the cafeteria for a project involving former NASA engineers. But Cale didn't stick around for the assignment as he couldn't wait to be home with his newly returned mom. It's rough, but it's worth it, Lancey said. Small sacrifices for a long-term gain. That's it for this evening. I'm John Webb, and for all of us here at Channel 3, thanks for tuning in tonight, and have a great evening.